Good morning and welcome to our Facebook Live today. My name's Jenny McCormack and I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator based in the market town of Brackley, which is in Northamptonshire in the UK. Thank you so much for joining me this morning. I hope you're keeping well. We're in the middle of a heat wave here in the UK, and so we don't do heat very well here. We're not really set up for it. So this morning is going to be short and sweet, only because I've had to keep the windows closed because they're doing some work on the road outside and they've been drilling all morning and they seem to have just stopped, but it does mean my windows are closed, and I have got my curtains closed as well and the blinds closed, but it's still fairly warm. So thank you so much for joining us. This week we are focusing on our Sale-a-Bration products, and they can be found in our small Sale-a-Bration brochure, which I've just put down and now can't find. That's crazy, isn't it? How does that even happen? No. Okay. I won't waste time hunting for it because I'll find it probably as we go along. So Sale-a-Bration is an opportunity for you to get items for free. It runs the months of July and August, and it means that for every £45 you spend or £90, you can choose items free from the catalogue. Now you can view the Sale-a-Bration catalogue online, and I will add a link at the end of this video in the on the Facebook page to the catalogue, so you can view that for yourself. Yesterday we created this card here using the Wonderful World stamp set and papers. So this is the back of one of the papers, and this is the stamp that I use, this lovely iris, and this is the stamp set itself. Hi Kerry, good evening to you. Thank you so much for joining us. So because this is a double set with stamps and papers, this is available for a £90 purchase, but there are plenty of items available for a £45 purchase. These are some other cards that we created, exactly the same theme, but we did that at Coffee and Card on Friday. If you want to see those papers again, you can hop back through YouTube or Facebook to see my post yesterday, and I showed all of the papers. And one of the things I have seen people do, and I think I mentioned yesterday, is having elements from this sheet, which is the one with the pink backing, cut out with a punch, either a circle punch or our postage stamp punch. Now this punch is approximately 2 inches high, I believe. It is indeed. So I'm just going to see how that's going to work on here. So there's my 2 inches. So this will cut out those elements there. If I cut a complete band, obviously it's not going to allow me necessarily, oh it might do, to cut 2 in a row. Oh, it might just. It's going to be close. It's going to be close. So what I thought I would do is cut out some of these elements here. I've got a white base card, and I've got some of that really pretty paper with the mossy meadow backing. It's just so pretty. It needs to be used. And so what I'm going to do is cut out some of these pieces with a postage stamp. I did have a go with one earlier, you can see here, and lay them onto here. Now I might put a piece of this pink behind so that it separates it from the backing. So let's have a go and cut some of these up. So my piece of paper that I'm using has got the pink, has got the irises. So I'm thinking I might cut across there. So what I'm going to do is going to cut this one very close to the top and then punch from here. So there's an iris one. There's that one. So this is a great, really easy way to create cards, and I've done postage stamp cards with you before, and all you need to do is go through your papers, have a look and see what papers you've got that would work. Just going to see, so you could potentially, no, you're not really going to get two in one. Okay, that one's going to be a little bit close. Okay, let's just see. I might just pick up one from the bottom here. What have we got? Actually, I only need 4. That might do the job. Okay. Whew. Morning, Catherine. Oh, bless you. That is fine. That's for you, Catherine. So I've got my 4 pieces. I'm actually going to swap that out for one I cut earlier, just because it's a little bit more central. So you could do this a number of ways. You could just use 2. I quite like using a 4 because I'm thinking I could do 4 like that. And then just move it to the top and have a sentiment underneath. I think that would look really pretty. Let me bring that up to the screen, like so. Could also, if I just swap that one over, you could do a run of 3 like that and have a sentiment under. So I wonder if that would be better, a bit less busy. I do really like this paper behind, but I think maybe this is just a little less busy, like so. I could put a darker piece behind. Let's have a look. Let's just see. I've got a piece of... Morning, Brenda. I hope you're all right in this weather. So I'm just wondering if I pop that onto there first and then put it onto there. So let's just measure that and I'll cut that down. So these are, so I want that to be, that would actually work, 3 inches by 4 and a little bit. Let's try that and see. Morning, Fran. So let's make that 3. Yeah. So let's do that. I'll do that 4.5. So 1, 2, 3, 4. What I'm going to do is I'm going to stick those down and then cut it. And what I'm going to use is the dots from Framed Occasions to go into there to make it look like a postmark, like so. I think that would just look quite pretty, wouldn't it? So I was going to lift these up onto dimensionals, but I think what I'm going to do, stick them flat, stamp that across, okay, and then trim the bottom. And then we'll decide what backing, because I could still use that one potentially. Yeah, Catherine says the plainer backing. Yeah, that was just so pretty, but maybe another time. Right, glasses are off. I'm just putting that down lightly. Let's see what colours have we got. Let's put a lighter one at the top. So I've used the liquid glue so that I can move these. Like so. Like that. So you could even easily punch out just pieces of any of the pattern papers as well for the stamps. I think that would work really nicely. You don't have to just pick out the images. Oops. So this measures 3 inches across, like so, and it will end up being about 4 1/8. Okay, let's do this stamping on here. I just think that would look really pretty. And let's find a block. And I think I'm going to stamp it in Rich Raspberry. Yeah, Kerry, I'm not feeling too bad today. Actually, I feel better than yesterday. My voice is certainly a great improvement. I was listening back to my opening part yesterday to check the video. Very croaky. But no, I'm not feeling too bad at all. Thank you. I think I'm over the worst of it. just want to try this out on a piece first. Oh, let's try it on here. Oh, yes. So glad I tried that out. A little heavy-handed with the ink. So, let's try that again. That's better. Okay, can pop that in the middle, like that. Thank you for asking, Kerry, I really appreciate that. There we go. We've got like our little postmark in the middle. Now, that's given me another idea. Let me have a little drink of water. Let's see. So, I think it's going to be a little bit too big, but we have this Alphabest set of stamps with alphabet and numbers, and I was just wondering whether I could put number in the corner as if it was the value of the postage. Let's have a look. Whew, I have to take my glasses off to see these. So let's do 5. Let's grab a small block. And I'm going to try it on this one here. There's my one that I didn't quite cut it right. Okay, so I could put the numbers in the middle. I could do 2022. I could put the numbers up here on the right. That one's a little bit close. What do we think? Oh, thanks, Catherine. Right, now I'm just going to trim this first while I deliberate. So what do we think? Shall we add any numbers? Sorry, my glasses right in the middle. It did sort of occur to me, if I was doing them in a line, that you could put, you know, hello or something like that. Obviously, I've got them in this format. Let's have a look, see. Maybe it's too much if I add it. Just think it looks more like stamps. Yeah, I'm not sure either. I think if they were a line and I'd cut them so that they were all up, you know, at the bottom, then I could put a number at the top. I think that would work. Just realised that that one is upside down. Obviously it's designed to come down from the top, and I turned it round. So shall we just leave that? Shall we not risk adding numbers? Love, yeah, that would work. Or yes, I thought of hi. Love might work. Let's have a look at the letters. Because the letters are slightly smaller than the numbers. Let's see what the L looks like. It's just straight. There's an L. Because it'd be quite nice if they fitted in there, wouldn't it, really? L. O. B. And E. So I know you can't really see the letters because they're clear. I haven't used them yet. But how about that with it in the centre? L-O-V-E. I think they need to be together, don't they, rather than up. What do we think? Not the end of the world if it doesn't work. Shall we try it? Right, let me have a little drink and let's give it a go. Do they need to be together? I think spelling out a word, I think they do. Quite like that. Let's give it a go. Let's be brave. Right. Oh yes, sorry, it wasn't a question. If you add them, they do need to be together. Sorry, Kerry, I misread that. I thought you said if you add them, do they need to be together? Dear. Thanks, Brenda. Oh dear, what am I like? Okay. Let's just get a little scrap of paper and just have a play with these. I just want to stamp each one off before I do it, just to make sure. Yeah, we had a lovely postage stamp set that went with the postage stamp punch. And I remember creating a few cards like this. Right, I'm going to put those straight back. I'll clean them in a minute, because I know what I'm like. About losing stamps. O-V-E. And we had a similar sort of postmark. It was like a double circle. I remember using it with the memories and more cards and envelopes we had for something. I'll have to dig it out. Okay, there's our E. Try not to mess it up. There we go. Happy with that? What do we reckon, folks? Well, it's a bit too late to take it off. That's for sure. Okay. So, just going to decide on the backing. Let me put those away. So watch out for these stamps being used again shortly. Right, so I think it probably favours the plainer backing, but what do we think? Let's see what other ones would work. That's too similar.
Hi, Duka.
Hi, Keelan. I'm just doing my live.
Oh, good thing I came in earlier. I got him.
Fine. It's okay. I think that's too much white. So, what do you reckon? That one or the pink is what we're going to decide on, I think. This one here. First one says Fran. Thank you. Yeah, it is. I do quite like it, but, and I think it would still work, but I think that possibly sends it off a little bit. It shows off the stamps and everything else a little bit better, doesn't it? Okay. So this is just a basic white card base. That I've cut an A4 sheet in half and folded in half. That layer is going to go onto there. That's 10 centimeters by 14.35, and then I have my panel here, and then I could add a sentiment at the bottom. Got a couple of these. That's a bit too small. That would definitely work. Like so, or just leave it like that with the panel in the middle. What do we think? Oh, the panel for this, Fran, do you want inches or centimetres? In inches is 3 inches by 4 1/8. I can give you centimetres if you would like it. And the size of this stamp is, of the punch, is 2 inches high. Oh, perfect. I think I'm just going to leave that in the middle, and then you could use it for anything rather than add. I think if it was smaller, a sentiment would work, but I think the sentiment just looks a little bit lost on there. And obviously you could, if you were going to give this by hand, you could pop that on the envelope. You could even stamp love across there and make it into a little stamp. So make a really nice anniversary or wedding envelope. Let's pop this one down. They started up with their digging of the road again, but luckily all the doors and windows are closed. Hi Glenda, I hope you're well and having a good evening. Okay, so just pop that down like that. There we go. And then I'm going to pop that up on dimensionals. And we're done. I'm just going to pop quite a few on there. I'm just going to support the middle with a strip as well. Like that. Just so it doesn't sink down. Good, so glad to hear it. So we've been playing with the papers again, Glenda, and our postage stamp punch. Oh no, I was going to put it in the middle, wasn't I? Maybe I'll put it just slightly high of middle. There we go. So I selected the elements from the papers, punched them with the punch, put the 4 of them together on a panel of rich raspberry, and then I stamped that lovely dotty circle from framed occasions. And then we'd use the Alphabest, so we were deliberating about using numbers, but we went with the letters, which I think was don't know if it was Kerry's idea or Catherine's idea, or whether we just got there together. Anyway, that was our final one, so I put the word love in. So I think I'd make a really sweet anniversary card, or to send to somebody you love. Okay, so that's it for this morning. Now I'm pleased to say, finally, I have got around to organising our paper shares for the autumn winter catalogue. And so I will pop on later and go through the paper share options that are available. So these are obviously only available for people here in the UK. And basically there are some fabulous papers in the July to December catalogue. And I've picked out the main ones plus some vellum. I have not added Painted Christmas because that was available last year and some people may already have that. So I will pop on later and actually show you all the papers in the paper share. Basically you get a quarter of all of the packs. The exception is Gingham Cottage because that is a 48 sheet pack. So I've dropped that down to an 1/8 of a pack, because you still get effectively the 12 different pieces of that. And that's £32 for the whole share. And if you need it posting, £3.50 postage. The 12 by 12 sheets, of which all of these, except the lights aglow, come as 12 by 12s. They're cut to 12 by 6. The only exception to that are the festive foils, because there are only 6 sheets, so I've had to cut those down. So watch out, I will pop details of this on email later on. It's also our last day for booking our July class in a box, which you can take online if you're outside of the UK, or you can take in person, or through the post. So if you're on my emails, you will have received a reminder for that today. So thank you so much for joining me. I hope you like our finished design. Cutting out with the postage stamp is not wasn't an original idea. I'd seen quite a few demonstrators do it already. So I hope you like it, and don't forget to give it a go. Just look through your pattern papers, see if you've got something with sufficient spacing in between. Having said that, I also think you could do the same thing with the pattern papers. If you chose carefully, I think you could do a little portion of that one and a little portion of the green and of that. I think that would equally work. That's okay, Catherine, don't worry. I know you're busy. Okay, so thank you so much. I will see you later. I will pop on live with the paper share for everybody, and I'll do that a little bit later when I've cooled down. Thank you so much for joining me today. Do take care, look after yourselves and your loved ones, and thanks for watching. Bye for now.